PMS, missing or irregular periods, acne, and hot flashes. Those are just a few of the symptoms that can be improved with seed cycling. Now, if you've never heard about seed cycling before, then stick around because in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what it is and how to make it work for you. But before we dive into that, I just want to say welcome to my channel. My name is Jermaine. I am an integrative nutrition health coach, and this channel, as well as my blog, livewellzone.com, is all about helping women to balance their hormones naturally. So seed cycling, what exactly is it and how does it work? So seed cycling is a food-based approach to balancing your hormones, and it's all about eating 2 sets of seeds throughout your menstrual cycle. Now, during our cycle, there are 2 major phases. The first phase is the follicular phase, and the second one is the luteal phase. So what happens is during the follicular phase, you're going to eat 1 to 2 tablespoons of flax seeds and or pumpkin seeds. And then during the second phase, which is the luteal phase, you'll be eating 1 to 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds or sunflower seeds. And again, those servings are servings per day. Now, why is it that we're eating these seeds in particular and not a different set of seeds? So let's dive a little bit more into the science and the benefits of some of these seeds. So during the follicular phase, that is the phase that starts on day 1 of your period and goes all the way up to ovulation. So it's going to be approximately the halfway point of your cycle. Again, it's not an exact science. That number varies from one woman to another, as well as from one cycle to another. But in general, it's going to be about the midway point of your cycle. That's going to be the duration of your follicular phase. So during this phase, estrogen is naturally higher. So we're going to be eating things like flax seeds because flax seeds are actually going to help to make sure that estrogen doesn't get too high and get out of control. And flax seeds are able to do that because they contain a fiber known as lignans. Now, these lignans are not just a fiber, but they're also classified as a phytoestrogen or a plant estrogen, and they help the body to get rid of excess estrogen. In addition, both pumpkin and flax seeds are very good sources of zinc, with the pumpkin seeds being a little bit higher than the flax seeds when you're looking at 100-gram servings. But in either case, both are great for zinc, and there's 2 main benefits here for zinc. So the first one is that zinc helps to support the production of progesterone, and that progesterone is going to be very necessary for the second phase of the menstrual cycle. And in addition, there's also some research showing that being deficient in zinc can actually make your PMS symptoms worse. So we want to incorporate these 2 seeds that are rich in zinc because that's going to help when it comes to improving and preventing PMS symptoms. Now, both flax seeds and pumpkin seeds are good sources of omega-3 fatty acids, and the main benefit here is that these fatty acids help to bring down inflammation. And because inflammation is usually an underlying cause of just about every type of hormonal imbalance that's out there, that is going to help with regulating your hormones in general. Now, there's also research showing that flax seeds in particular can help to lengthen your luteal phase, which is the next phase of the cycle. Now, having a longer luteal phase is not only going to help with PMS that I mentioned before, that can also help significantly when it comes to ovulation and natural conception. And in addition, there's also some studies showing that when it comes to women with PCOS, you can actually benefit significantly from flax seeds because those flax seeds help to bring down the androgen levels. So now we're on to phase 2 of the menstrual cycle, which is the luteal phase. So this is the phase that starts at ovulation and goes all the way up to the beginning of your next cycle. So during this phase, progesterone is dominant, progesterone is higher. Now, the seeds that we're going to eat here are going to help to balance out our progesterone to estrogen ratio because those 2 hormones basically keep each other in check. So sesame seeds, for one, contain lignans similar to flax seeds. So what they're going to do here is the same thing that the flax seeds did in the first phase, which is to just help to regulate those estrogen levels so that they don't get out of control, because once estrogen changes and fluctuates too much, that is automatically going to lead to also a change in your progesterone. Now, in addition, we have the sunflower seeds, and those seeds bring selenium into our diet. Now, that selenium is going to benefit your liver. Now this matters because the liver, once again, is critical for regulating estrogen levels and for detoxing or getting rid of excess estrogen levels. So that's going to be the main benefit of those sunflower seeds. And in addition to all of that, both sesame and sunflower seeds are good sources of omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 fatty acids are required when it comes to supporting the body's production of progesterone. So as I mentioned, this is the phase where progesterone is supposed to be higher. So we do want to eat seeds like this that are going to support your body's natural production of progesterone. So now that you know what seed cycling is and you know how to do it, the next question might be, well, does it actually work and how long does it take to see results? So the main thing here is generally it's about 2 to 3 menstrual cycles before you can expect to see any result from this. Now, as far as whether it actually works, well, there's lots of anecdotal evidence when it comes to what this can do. So because this is something that is mainly taught in the alternative world, there is not a lot of science yet that has been funded, scientific research that has been funded to study this. So any evidence as to how it works really comes from the alternative world and just feedback from other women who have tried it. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that this is a food-based approach, and like all food-based approaches, the results will vary from one person to the other. And also the impact of the results is going to be determined by how well you stick to it in your commitment, as well as what else is going on in your life. So this is not a miracle cure or a magic pill of any kind. What that means is if you're still under a lot of stress, if you are maybe still drinking a lot of caffeine or taking a lot of growth hormones and pesticides and refined sugars and all the other unhealthy ingredients, then most likely you're not going to see any results from this. So this is meant to be something that you integrate and add into your life and that you add into your hormone balance diet. But all by itself without any other changes, you may not see any results. So just keep that in mind. And ultimately, to know if it works for you, just go ahead and give it a try and see how it works for you. Now, a few things to keep in mind when it comes to how you consume these seeds. So the first thing is ideally you want to get organic seeds. Ideally you want to get them whole, and then you want to make sure that you eat them ground. So it's a little bit easier for your body to absorb them when they are in the powder form versus in the whole form, especially for things like flax seeds. So you can buy them whole and then grind them down with a blender or a coffee grinder. Ideally also you want to make sure that you grind small batches at a time. So personally what I like to do is I will grind about a week's worth or maybe even 2 weeks worth at most. I'll keep that in the freezer because the freezer is going to help to prevent it from going rancid too quickly, because these are high fat. So the more fat that's in the food, the more likely it is to go rancid. So when you grind them down, if you can't grind them down every day, just grind a larger batch and then just keep that in the freezer, and then every day just take out what you need and use it. Now, as far as what you can eat it with, well, one of the easiest options is to put it in smoothies, but you can also sprinkle them on salads. You could use them in any kind of puddings or porridge, like your oatmeal, for example. You can put them into soups. Keep in mind that when it comes to sesame for me personally is not very enjoyable in smoothies. So I would recommend that you keep sesame either for things like salads or for things like soups, but all the other seeds go quite well with smoothies. So it's because smoothies have that natural sweetness to them, and sesame really is not a sweet seed in any way, shape, or form. So you want to keep that just for the more savory dishes in your menu. Now, if you need some recipes to get you started, especially when it comes to smoothies, there's lots of them to choose from on my blog, so go check those out. There are a couple of articles that have recipes that you can download. So there is the Hormone Balancing Diet Plan. That article has a PDF with some free smoothie recipes in there. So be sure to check that out. There is also another article on hormone balancing smoothies, and that also has a few recipes. You can save that article and use it as a reference if you need more ideas for smoothie recipes that you can use when you start doing your seed cycling routine. I mentioned earlier that this will help you with menopause symptoms, things like hot flashes, and that can even help you if you have a missing period. But then the question is, well, how do you know when to start if you don't have a period. So one thing you can simply do is just start at any time, because if you don't have a period, still starting at any time will eventually get you on a cycle, as long as you just stick to doing the seeds in phases. So you can put yourself on the 28-day cycle. Even if your cycle isn't normally 28 days, you can just put yourself on a 28-day cycle and do one set of seeds for 14 days and then the other set of seeds for 14 days. Another option is to just follow the moon cycle. So historically, the female cycle is supposed to be aligned with the cycles of the moon. So you can hop on Google and just see when the next, what the dates are for the moon cycle, and just follow those dates. So what you want to do in this case is you will eat the seeds from the follicular phase. You will eat those from the new moon to the full moon. And then the seeds that are meant for the luteal phase, you're going to eat those from the full moon to the new moon. So, all right, so that's it for this video on seed cycling. I hope you found this helpful. So if you enjoyed it, be sure to go ahead and share it with anybody else that could benefit from it. And of course, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and subscribe, and be sure to hit that bell icon so that you get notified the next time I upload another video on how to balance your hormones naturally. As always, if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them below the video. I will check and get back to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.